Hello and welcome to Lotus on Track. We're here today in the beautiful Dijon circuit in France. Also, we'll be showing you races from Silverstone, and we've got some very new exciting footage from the Indy cars all the way from America. Let's take a look.
Winding its way through the beautiful Burgundy countryside is the legendary circuit Dijon-Prenois, home to that infamous 1979 Formula 1 dice between René Arnoux and Gilles Villeneuve. Well, this weekend is home to a huge field from the Lotus Cup Europe, including the largest ever grid from the Lotus 211s, 19 of them in all on the entry list. There, posing with one of the two beautiful Evoras that we have got on the grid this weekend, are the fantastic grid girls. That's the car of Thierry Verheist. And after the session, Amy caught up with our front runners.
John, you're second on the grid today. You're in between the 211s. How do you think you're going to beat them?
Well, I'm surprised to be there, and for sure I will try to beat them, but I think Remy is very fast, so I'll do my best and we will see.
Remy, you're new to the series this year and you're in pole position. Are you glad that you joined?
Yes, I'm enjoying. It's a good thing to make the pole position for the first time I drive the car. It's a good car. We have a good team with the Boursier competition, and I hope it should be good for the next race, for today, for tomorrow, and for the next race.
This is the first round of the Lotus Cup Europe 2011. In pole position, we have Remy Prochowicz, and in second position, we have John Rass. Will he be able to beat him to the line? Let's find out.
We certainly will, Amy. Huge field of cars, as ever, for the Lotus Cup Europe as the countdown gets underway to the first race. It's a rolling start in Lotus Cup Europe, so we're in car with Olivier Severini as they set off behind the pace car. They'll complete the lap, and then the safety car will pull in and we'll go racing. So here's the grid with Remy Prochowicz on pole position, John Rass alongside him on the front row of the grid. Christophe Desandre lines up third with Philippe Verteret in fourth. Olivier Cunat well up in fifth place with Gregory Rass a great sixth place in his debut in the Evora. So the field stringing round behind the pace car around this beautiful undulating Dijon-Prenois circuit. They climb up out of the Courbe de Pouat, which is what we're seeing now. Then they come along the pit straight. The lights are about to flash green and we'll be racing for the first time in 2011. Here we go. We're in car with Christophe Desandre. It's getting very congested towards the Double Droit de Villeray for the first time. And it's Remy Prochowicz who's got the advantage from John Rass in second. And then Gregory Rass around the outside to claim third. So that's a great start in the Evora. Everybody cleanly through as they head towards the Parabolique for the first time, but it's Remy Prochowicz who's got the advantage from the Rasses, John from Gregory, and then it's Philippe Verteret there in fourth position. The production battle is just being headed by Nigel Ayres, who we saw flashing through the screen as we go through Parabolique. Again, a very challenging course. The road rises so steeply. The drivers really have to get on the power nice and early, then come back over the crest and then breaking into the double gauche de la Bretagne, which is what we're watching now. So those of you who know French, that's the double left-hander, and that's exactly what it is before the road plunges downhill once more. We're in car with Gregory Rass as we go downhill to the Virage de la Com, and then they come out of the crest. The road goes even further downhill before we come to the awesome Courbe de Pouat, and the drivers just have to plant the right foot to get up that hill and back through to complete the lap. So we're in car with Christophe Desandre. We're watching Steve Williams just ahead of him. He is chasing down Philippe Verteret, which is the white car you can just see over the top of Williams, as we've got John Rass having to defend from Gregory Rass. Isn't that Evora beautiful, a wonderful looking car. As Desandre challenges Williams, and Christophe Desandre is going to go through. We look backwards from Christophe Desandre cleanly through, and this is the section of circuit where Villeneuve and Arnoux so famously banged wheels. Will we have more of the same? Well, Williams is certainly very keen to dispute the position, but Christophe Desandre avoids the curbs and he holds on in what is fifth position as the leading trio have closed up very nicely. And Remy Prochowicz here is coming under a lot of pressure from John Rass. Christophe Desandre, well, it's now the turn of Philippe Verteret to come under pressure as they arrive into Parabolique, and through goes Desandre. That's a very brave move. He pushes Verteret out wide, and that means that Steve Williams is going to go through as well. We look backwards from Christophe Desandre. Williams and Verteret close as you like, banging wheel arches as the leading trio make their way through the double gauche de la Bretagne, and then the road just goes away. In car with Gregory Rass, a great view of the lead battle, also a great view of the cockpit of the Evora as the road just goes downhill for these two incredibly quick corners back to the midfield runners in the Parabolique. and plenty of dicing going on throughout the order. So here we come to complete lap. In car with Gregory Rass, looking at John Rass, who is challenging for the lead. He's got the inside run as they go towards the Dijon-Prenois, and he's going to go through, and he claims the lead. Brilliant move from John Rass over Remy Pourchevin. Is there anything that Remy can do? And there isn't, so John Rass goes into the lead in the Exige. Now, will he be able to hold on to it? Well, here is Olivier Severini asking all sorts of questions of Tom Chataway. Now, Tom Chataway is a feisty competitor. Will he gives Olivier enough room? Just, that is one Lotus 211th whip, and that's all, but Severini has done enough, so he goes through and moves himself up the order. That is for 8th position. Rob Fenn making the move on Gregor Zechka, and Rob finding a line around the outside as we then look at the battle for the lead of production. It's Nigel Ayres who's just got the advantage over Jose Vazlat, two of them running very closely. So back in car with Gregory Rass, as it's now his turn to get onto the tail of Remy Pourchevin. The 211 this time goes defensive, hugging the inside lane. He's going to make the Evora go the long way around the outside. Now will he make that stick? It's going to be a battle on the brakes, but I think the track position goes the way of the 211, and so Gregory Rass loses out. We go back in car with Gregory Rass as we come to the S de Sablière, which is such a quick section of the circuit, but no way through there. So they then plunge downhill as Pourchevin looks to challenge the lead, and this is a fantastic way to open the season. These three cars fighting to lead the race. What's this replay of it? Simon Deacon, who's gone off in the 39 car, so that's a great shame. Back on board at Parabolique as Gregory Rass looks to plant the right foot. John Rass runs a little bit wide. This could be a real opening here for Remy Pourchevin, who draws alongside John Rass and goes through around the outside up the hill. Brilliant move to reclaim the lead from Remy Pourchevin, so he goes back into lead the race with John Rass demoted. Gregory remaining in that 3rd position. As the undulations of the circuit, such a challenge for the drivers, but also so enjoyable as well. Tom Chataway winding his way through. And what about Rob Fenn? This is a great drive in the Go Green Motorsport car, number 66 machine. He challenges the 79 car, Jean-Pierre Genot-Prachet, as we have 1 lap to go. And this is the fight for production. It's still airs just from Jose Vazlat, but I think that will go to line as the flag goes out, and it's the win for Remy Pourchevin. So Remy Pourchevin taking the win in what has been a thrilling opening race of the 2011 Lotus Cup Europe, with in 2nd place John Rass and 3rd place Gregory Rass. Superb dice for those top 3 positions, and then on throughout the field. So here are the results, and it is Remy Pourchevin with the victory from John Rass, Gregory Rass. Good drive from Steve Williams up to 4th, and Christophe Legendre rounding out the top 5, with Pete Story working his way up the order to finish in 6th position. In terms of the 211 class, well, it's Remy Pourchevin from Steve Williams and Christophe Legendre. Of the Evoras, it was Gregory Rass who got the advantage over Thierry Verheist. In the Exige Cup, John Rass holding off Gregor Zechka and Christophe Guerrier going well to round out the podium. The open race was won by that superb drive from Rob Fenn, from Xavier Georges and Paul Patterson. And then the production class, it was on the line. Jose Vazlat, who edged out Nigel Ayres, and then Jan Christie claiming that final podium position. Well, the grid girls and trophies at the ready, as is the very warm applause of the Lotus Cup Europe community. Hugely entertaining race, and I think time for some well-deserved handshakes and champagne on the podium.
Hi Joseph, you are the official lubricants partner for the Lotus Cup Europe this year for the 2nd year. What does this mean?
As you know, Motul has a long-term involvement in motorsport, so we are not only a sponsor of the championship of the Lotus Cup Europe, we are also a technical partner, so we come to the event, we discuss with drivers, engineers and mechanics to make sure they're using the right product and also to get the best performances of their cars.
Will you be at every meeting this season?
Yes, we'll be present at every meeting, and we'll try to help drivers as much as we can.
Back here at Silverstone, one of the things they're doing is power testing. Let's go over to Richard Short and find out exactly how that's done.
What they're actually doing is part of the Elise trophy. They have to comply to certain power regulations. You've got some limits for the rover-based cars, for the Series 1 and Series 2 rover-based cars, and you've got power limits on the Toyota-based cars. 151 horsepower for the rover-based cars and 172 horsepower for the Toyota-based cars.
Steve Quick has been on pace since the beginning. Will this be his first victory, or will Ken Savage make it 3 wins of 3?
Well, it's going to be a very close race, whatever happens, with Steve Quick claiming the pole position, Ken Savage alongside him, Luigi Mazza in third and Stuart Rowland fourth. Those are the drivers who were very much ahead of the field at Snetterton at the start of the season. Emma Selway in sixth could be the real wild card. The ex-Formula Palm Rowdy racer always goes well here at Silverstone. We get a green flag at the rear of the field as the revs begin to rise. Waiting for the off. Away we go. Brilliant start from Steve Quick from pole position. Quick launches into the lead as the enormous pack makes its way towards Copse for the first time. It's going to be very close into Copse for the first time. Quick to the outside. It's Ken Savage to the inside and Mazza in the third yellow cars with the black stripes also in the mix, and Stuart Rowland, that's the black machine you can see challenging as well. Everybody cleanly through Copse, which is what we want to see as they head on towards Beckett's for the first time, and it's Savage who's got the advantage from Stuart Rowland and Luigi Valentino Mazza. So Steve Quick, having led into Copse, has been bullied all the way down to fourth position by the time they arrive at Beckett's. So they go through the Beckett's complex, accelerate then onto Chapel Curve. This is where they just plant the right feet as they sprint down the Hanger Straight, and this is the section on the circuit where we'll see the slipstream really come to the fore. Let's see if it happens for Neil Livesey. He's chasing down Phil Stratton Lake as it looks very lively in front of him. It's one of the Team Intellect cars. It's Adam Busey or Chris Dunster who's really challenging in the midfield as we go back to the leaders on arrival into the Vale, and Savage goes very defensive from Stuart Rowland. Luigi Mazza gets a little bit sideways just at the edge of the shot as they then accelerate through Club. Mazza gathers it all up, but he's now got Steve Quick really pretty much glued to his bumper. Also Simon Deacon very much in the mix there in the 39 machine as the field cleanly through. Fantastic race underway here at Silverstone as Stuart Rowland chases down Ken Savage. We're going to break. Join us in a few moments for more Lotus on Track action.